Yo guys, what is going on? Blossom is back, and welcome back to episode, I think, 5 of Garage Review. Today we're going to be reviewing the first garage, which is going to be Max M. I can't remember the last name, but I got a whole nother list here. Guys, like, honestly, Garage Review is work, but it's good work. So, I mean, I just want to show you that I actually do take these garages seriously. I genuinely take the notes, and I will try and give you as much of a useful feedback as I absolutely can. So with that said, I'm gonna close that little. Oh, I didn't know you could do that with the webcam. That's kind of cool. You can zoom in and zoom out. I'm getting used to this whole PC thing because I'm not recording on my phone anymore. As you can see, here we go with the list. I haven't added the new name. I did a little change to the points. I felt that for Frank, that was the last guy that I reviewed, I was a bit too liberal with the points. Like, I was being a bit too generous. He did have a good garage, but then I did look at the other points and I was like, okay, it's either I bring his points down a little bit or I bring everyone else's points up. And I don't want like points to hit too high of numbers because I haven't really reviewed any like heavy pay to wins yet, and I'm probably gonna keep those super high scores for those because, you know, that makes sense. But yeah, so I changed a little bit of points, but nothing too much there. Anyway, the garage that we're reviewing today is Max McLean. I am so happy I did not assume his last name at the start of the video because I was gonna say like Milewski or something like that. I don't know why, but that's just what I thought. Anyway, let's put his name in the list and let's get into the garage. So, quick facts about Max. 150 RQ, 4,595 trophies. Let's get into it. Obviously, I know this garage already, so we'll make it pretty quick. So, well, not pretty quick, but you know, at least I won't have a lot of time to just think about things. So, this is the common range. That's it. Not a lot of commons here, so this is what I have the points for you, right? So you started off with the commons, Max, very strong, okay? So focus on the duplicates. That's my first point. I see 2 Transams, RQ3s, and we can have a look at that. 2 Transams. I see 2 Honda Beats and 2 Citroen Mahari 4x4s. If I were you, I would max out all 6 of them. So I'll max out both Transams. It looks like you already have one maxed out. I'll max out the other Honda Beat, and I'll max out both the Citroen Maharis. One thing that I've learned, that I wish I learned earlier, is to not neglect duplicates. You know, a lot of top drives players, especially beginners and intermediates, especially since they want to save slots and everything, they would think, oh, I have one of this car already, I don't need another one. Well, that's completely wrong, especially with the introduction of clubs and how key cars are just the way they are. It's better to just have 5, like, I guess, Lotus 340Rs than like maybe 5 different twisty cars, like 1 340R, 1 Lotus Elise 135, 1 Desire. I mean, you gotta work with what you got, but if you have duplicates of really useful cars, I would suggest maxing them out. So first 3 is the Trans Am, Beat, and Mahari 4x4. Last one here is indeed the Renault Fuego Turbo that you should max out. I see you have the Mercedes-Benz 600. That's a really nice car. So those are the cars you should max out. Things, commons that you should focus on getting. I have here the Fiat Punto RQ6 standard tires, medium ground clearance, the BMW 2800 CS, the GMC Caballero, Chrysler Drifter, and the Ford Focus Coupe Cabriolet, which is RQ6 and hits 85 handling maxed out. I'm actually guilty of not having that Ford Focus Coupe Cabriolet, but you should really focus on that. Anyway, moving on to uncommons. Once again, a pretty small variety here. This is not a very big garage, that's one thing I can tell you. The first one is the S10 Blazer. You should max that out because it's one of the only uncommon cars that has 4-wheel drive and off-road tire capability. That, and I think like some Nissan, or a couple Nissans. Another car you should really focus on is the Pontiac Grand Prix 2+2. Standard tires, medium ground clearance, decent stats, not very slow. And the last thing I have here is max out your duplicate Mazda Yunus Roadster RS Limited. Same points as I said with the uncommons before. So these are the uncommons I feel like you should get. The Porsche 924 standard tire RQ10, really good car. The Volkswagen Corrado 16V. the Chrysler Laser XT, because once again it is medium ground clearance and it has a handling of 86 maxed out, and the Chevy Impala SS424. Did I write 424? I think it's a 427. Or the Maserati Indy. Now those two cars I last said, the Impala and the Indy, are really important because although you have the Plymouth GTX, the GTX is only really going to help you for the quarter mile. It has bad MRA, I'm pretty sure, but more so it has no top speed. So when it comes to test bowls, 1 miles, maybe even half miles, you want to rely on either the Impala or the Indy. I know when the GTX came out, everyone was saying, oh, the Impala is dead and whatsoever, but the Impala hits about 167 top speed, I think. So that's actually really impressive. And then I see a little trend here that you have like a couple RQ, like not RQ, a couple uncommon cars just laying around. For example, I don't know what that Renault Megane is doing there, or the Maserati 5000 GT, or the Volkswagen T-Roc, or even the Volkswagen Polo. So are you thinking about maxing them out or not? I mean, personally, I don't think they're the best of cars. Or the BMW Z1. The Z1's okay. It's about 83 handling. I don't know much about it though. I think the Z1's just an ugly car, so I don't have it. Now, moving on to rare. Once again, a small selection, but this is what I would recommend you to focus on. And that would be the Mercedes-Benz 280 GE and the RQ13 Range Rover MK1. One thing I realize is that you don't have any four-wheel drive off-road tire rares. You have that Ford Escort Rally spec, I think, and like one other, but I should really suggest that you focus on some four-wheel drive off-road tire rare cars. They are pretty niche, but they're also very useful because of that. Cars that you can focus on getting. Once again, you're missing on a lot of key rare cars, and I feel like you're at the range of RQ150, so you can get rare cars relatively easy from events and stuff. From prizes. So these are the cars I would really recommend you to look out for: the Chevy Malibu, Lotus Elise 1.6, the Chevy 396, the Stingray C2, the Dodge Stealth, the Mazda BBR Turbo, and the Subaru XT. If you're interested, I will put this whole kind of page of notes in this video towards the end, so you can really pause and see what you really need or what you should max out. Anyway, moving on to Super Rare. Super Rare, I have 3 cars that you should really focus on here. First one is the Cadillac ELR. I see you have that at 1 star. Max that out. It's so good. Medium ground clearance, standard tires, 89 handling. It's a killer. The next one is the Jaguar XJS Trans Am. I mean, 88 handling stock. I mean, that thing's gonna hit 98, 97. I'm not sure what's better for the XJS Trans Am, whether it be 969 or 699, but I'm pretty sure it is 969 because the 699 trend only catches on like RQ21 and above. Sometimes RQ20, but it really depends. It's a gamble at that point. So I would say 969 on the XJS, but correct me if I'm wrong to anybody that's watching and has it at like a different upgrade, I guess. Super Rare, let's see, I would say Focus, yes. So those were the only cars I mentioned, the ELR XJS. Oh, and the BMW Z4 S-Drive 28i RQ18 that you see over here. Focus on getting, and this is something I need to stress because this is a trend that I'm seeing within all of your whole garage. Focus on getting anything four-wheel drive and off-road. You don't have a single four-wheel drive off-road Super Rare. I feel like it's hard to believe that you probably never got one before, but if you've never gotten a four-wheel drive off-road tire car before, then I'm sorry, bro, that's tough. But if you get one, you should keep one. And also the RQ15 El Camino. I know you have the new Miura, the RQ15, but that thing's only good for the long haul stuff, like half mile, 1 mile, test bowl, fast circuit, which is a lot. But when you want a quarter mile, when you want to win a quarter mile with like the tiniest amount of like RQ possible, that RQ15 El Camino is still super useful, so I would tell you to focus on getting that. And once again, I can't stress enough, the four-wheel drive off-road, you need to get a four-wheel drive off-road car, whether it be the K5 Blazer or the Ram Chargers or the Lamborghini LM002. Like, just get one of them. I promise you they will not let you down. Now, moving on to Ultra. I didn't give you what you should look for or get because I just want you to focus on the Ultras you already have. It's not like you have a lot of fuse material lying around. So these are the Ultra Rares I would really suggest you to max out. The first one is the Ford Escort Rally. Next is the Fiat 030, and lastly is the BMW 440i. I would say I mean, I see you're maxing out that GMC Sierra All-Terrain. I see you have a maxed out Tahoe Custom. That's very nice to see. But since you're maxing out that GMC Sierra All-Terrain, I would say, you know, do like, I guess, a variety in your upgrades. So since you're gonna max out, and I hope you're gonna max out the Sierra, that means you're gonna, you're gonna be done with one off-road 4-wheel drive car. So with that, I would say the next car you should max out is the Fiat 030. Then after the 030, you can jump to the Escort Rally Spec. Then from the Rally Spec, you can jump to the 440i. But those are the cars that I really think you should focus on. And yeah, don't really focus on the Ultras you don't have. Just focus on the ones you have for now. Once you've maxed those 3 cars out, then you can really think about I guess others, because like you're missing out on a lot of key cars in the Ultra range. But I mean, I can't really, I guess, not attack you, but critique you harshly for that. But yeah, is there no, let me see. Yeah, not a yeah, there's one thing I really wanted to say. You don't have a single RQ19 car, which is kind of scary because you get the Lotus 135 from the campaign. And I really hope you didn't fuse the Lotus 135, but I have a feeling that you did. That Lotus 135, I'm not gonna lie, is one of the best cars in the game. Just because it's so versatile, low RQ, high handling, low 0 to 60, very light. So if you do get another one, you know, do keep the 135. However, I have to give you bonus points for characteristics, because it's not often you see a garage with literally no RQ19s at all. And like, honestly, that's like, I have to applaud that. That's actually kind of cool that you have no RQ19s. Like, you really don't care, but it's awesome. Anyway, moving on to epics. This is where the garage really kicks off in character and just uniqueness. You have a maxed out Maserati Quattroporte GTS, a maxed out Dodge Charger RT Scat Pack. These are 2 epics I just don't see maxed out at all. Just because the Hellcats is better than the Scat Pack, and the Maserati is a Maserati, but you probably were using that Maserati for a final, so congrats to you. I hope you got the prize car. I can't even remember what was the prize car for the Maserati requirements. I think it was like, no, I can't even remember. Let's see, Dodge Charger RT Scat Pack. It's nice that to see that you have that car max. I love that car. However, I don't think I'll be maxing that out anytime soon. My own, I mean, because I have the Hellcats. But that's, you know, that's nice to see. That's unique. I like that. Notes I got for your epics though. You gotta max out that Ford F-150 SVT Raptor. I think anyone watching can agree with me. That car is a killer. It is the best off-road American car in the game, and it's just fantastic. It's also one of the best. I think it is the best off-road pickup truck, right? Because all the legendary off-roaders are like rally cars and stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that SVT Raptor is like one of the best in its class. Other epics, let's see. Also focus on the BMW 740D. I have that maxed out. Hits about, I think, 4.2 0 to 60. I think it's 4.2, so I think you have it like 363 or something. And it hits about 83 handling as well. Let's see. That's about it for the epics. And yep, that's all my notes I have for the epics. You do have some fused material epics lying around, and one thing that I feel like is a huge beginner mistake, and if you're a beginner Top Drives player and you know, you don't have a lot of epics, I really want you to take this advice to heart. Please don't 1-star your epics. For me, and honestly in the long haul for Top Drives, it's 3-star or nothing. I would say if you plan to max out an epic, then it is justified to put in 1-star. But if you want to fuse your epics, do not bring it to 1-star, because that's 20k you're not getting back. So for example, I see a couple cars here or a couple epics here that you can fuse that you've kinda invested in. For example, the GMC Yukon, but at that point you have it at 2 stars, so don't fuse that. You're just too far in to actually let it go now. But I would say the Lamborghini Diablo SV, the Lamborghini Diablo VT Roadster, both of them at 1 star. They're not that great. They have no handling. I think they have decent MRA, but like the 0 to 60 is not that strong. And even like the second Chevrolet Corvette Grand Sport, like at that point, do you really need to bring that to 1 star since you already have one maxed out and you also have the Lingenfelter? I do like that little Corvette collection you got going on though. That's awesome. And obviously you have the CT6, which is a car I've been wanting for such a long time. So I'm happy to see that you're maxing that out. It looks like you're almost done with it as well. So once you're done maxing out that CT6, then I would say focus on maxing out that SVT. Anyway, we're gonna finish it off with the legendaries. So for the legendaries, I would say the legendary that I will max out, my favorite one here is the Pagani Zonda R. I know what you're thinking, at least for the advanced players, the Zonda R has just bad MRA. And it does have bad MRA, but honestly at the end of the day I would still max out that Pagani Zonda out of anything else you have in your garage, because although it doesn't have the best of MRA, it still has low 0 to 60 and amazing handling, and that thing is light, which means it's a specialist for the twisty dry stuff. And honestly, majority of the races in top drives are the twisty dry stuff. So if I were you, I would focus on that Pagani Zonda. Other notes I have here is, you know, personal opinion, you could either max out that Zonda, that's a priority, or just wait for like a Bugatti or something, that works as well. If you don't want to max out the Zonda R, the second in line that I would choose is the Lamborghini Gallardo LP570-4 Superleggera. Is it Superleggera? No, it's like, I can't really read the writing, it's just too small. Super Trifecco Stradale second gen, whatever this one is, the RQ30. That's a good one too. I think it's a little better than the NSX as well, so I would really focus on that, because as you can see, it is like slower to 60, but it has better handling and a higher top speed, probably better MRA as well. So I would focus on the Lamborghini, and then after that I said it's a free-for-all. If you don't want to max out the Zonda or the Lamborghini, it's a free-for-all, because your legendaries are good. The Panamera is kind of bleh, but everything else is great. Cadillac 16, one of the best standard tire cars in the game, amazing MRA. 12C, you can't go wrong with that, that thing's a killer. The Roof CTR3 Club Sport, congrats to you to getting that, and the NSX is a great car too. You know you have good legendaries when the NSX is like one of the more like less attractive ones of the bunch. In terms of fuse epics, this is what I have. You could fuse your AMG CLK DTM. You have no investments in that, 0 stars, keep it that way. You could also fuse your Diablo VT Roadster. I don't see a use in that, and dare I say it, being the American that I am, you could also max fuse your duplicate Corvette Grand Sport. Corvette Grand Sport's a great car, don't get me wrong, but in terms of just RQ26 cars, it's just not the best. The Lingenfelter is better, the Z51 is better. The only thing that really makes the Corvette Grand Sport stand out is on G-Force, because of 98 handling, but that's about it. But yeah, that is your garage. So let's put in the scores. Now I know what you're thinking. That was a pretty long review, pretty in-depth review. So let me just run through again. If you want to submit your garage, guys, there will be a link in the description below. If you haven't already, you can put your garage in there, and there are 3 options. There is the normal queue, priority queue, and priority queue in depth. The last 2 videos I did was only one garage, and that's because both of them got priority queue in depth, which means they got a whole video dedicated to their garage where I try and go through everything I can with as most detail as I can possibly give, and because of that, you know, thank you for getting the priority queue. So for max, let's see, uniqueness, I'm going to give you a 6. Not often do you see a maxed out Charger and a Quattroporte and a garage with no RQ19s. Those things really stand out to me, and I really liked it. Patriotism, once again, you know, I didn't really see any country that had more cars than the other, so I'll just give it a 4. Followed by that is character. This garage has character for sure. No RQ19s, a couple maxed out epics. Honestly, your garage is kind of like mine. When I started out playing the game, I didn't care about the lower ranks, and I only cared about all the big boys. So with that said, that gives you a total of 17. Correct me if my math is wrong. Anyway, back to the top drive scale. I have to be honest with you, I guess it was a compliment for me to say that your garage reminded me of mine when I started out. So we're going into the more harsh stuff. In terms of scale, in terms of the top drive scale, this is probably one of the weakest garages I have reviewed, but that's because I just see a lot of key cars missing. It's pretty awesome to see that you have that CTR3, and you definitely are strong in the Lamborghini category. You know what? You are strong in the Lamborghini category. There were a couple of Italian cars. I'm going to change that patriotism from a 4 to a 6. So with that, I'm gonna bring you up to 19 on the Blossom scale. Yeah, the Lamborghini garage, I have to say, is strong. That is your strong suit. Your Lamborghini and your garage is like Dodge in my garage, but everything else is pretty weak. Top dress scale is not a big garage. It really isn't. It's the smallest garage I've reviewed, and there's just not a lot to go for, and I'm going to give it a 4. Followed by that, strength. 5 is the best I can give. I see a couple maxed out cars, epics, and I see a couple maxed out ultras, and that's all good, but they're all like in the same category. They're all performance tires. Like, once again, like I said, you're basically screwed for anything off-road at this point, so I would really suggest that you focus on some off-road cars. Versatility, I'm gonna give it a 4, because once again, off-road standard tires, you have barely anything to show for, but at least your performance tire and Lamborghini is strong. Followed by that is lethal level. You know, when it comes to Lamborghinis, your lethal level is, you have a better Lamborghini deck than I do, and I have like almost 30k trophies. So with that said, your Lamborghini lethal level is like 9, but like everything else like brings it down, so I can only give you at most like a 6. Moving on to potential though, you do have some good cars waiting to be maxed, especially in the commons. You max out those dupes and you get all those cars that are recommended. Definitely can become a very strong garage, but when it comes to ultra rares and epics and legendaries, that's all down to chance. If you get the key cars and not like the Porsche 924 and the, what else can I think of? Porsche 924, Roof BTR, all that. So that's all down to chance. However, I have to say you have some pretty good legendaries. Your legendaries are really good, and you have some decent epics. So potential, I would say I'll give you a 7 for that. It's not the highest potential I've seen, but it's still like, it's there. The potential is there, which gives you a total score of 8, 13, 19, 26, I think, if my math is good. Probably isn't. But 26 plus 19 is like what, 35? No, 45. So you actually don't have the lowest score in the garage, which is surprising because I thought you would. Is my math right? Yeah, it's 45. Alright, cool. So yeah, I think that, yeah, you have one of the highest Blossom scores, so that's awesome. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video for garage review. Once again, if you're interested to have your garage reviewed, I'll have the links in the description below. Once again, if you get the normal queue, it's gonna be a while because I have over 50 submissions, and also the garage reviews will be less in depth because I'm trying to, that will be like 2 videos in 20 minutes or something like that. Anyway, hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Blossom out.